They are all around us, on sidewalks, in doorways, beneath the roar of the highways, and in the silence of the alleyways. Nearly 600,000 people we don't see or choose not to. These are the unseen Americans. Over 580,000 Americans experience homelessness on any given night. 30% of them are families with children. 18% are chronically homeless, veterans, teenagers, seniors. No group is untouched. What's happening is not a crisis of character. It's a crisis of systems failing. 1 in 5 homeless individuals live in California. Black Americans make up 13% of the U.S. population, but over 39% of the homeless population. The fastest growing group of homeless Americans are women and children. The causes are complex, an unraveling that began decades ago. In 1981, federal funding for public housing was slashed by 75%. Mental health institutions were shut down without building proper community-based care. This isn't just about drugs or laziness. It's about wages, rent, gentrification, and trauma. It's about a system where falling down is easy and getting back up is nearly impossible. Over 4.2 million youth and young adults experience homelessness in a given year. There are solutions. Cities that embrace housing first see a 70 to 90% reduction in chronic homelessness. Austin built a village. San Francisco launched safe parking zones. Salt Lake gave people homes, and it worked. We stopped asking, "Why are you homeless?" and started asking, "How can we help you thrive?" These aren't strangers. These are parents, siblings, veterans, children. They are our neighbors. What we do next, how we choose to see them, will define who we are as a nation. And we can point and talk all we want, look out the window. But I figure,
what's your name?
Let's talk to the people themselves, hear their stories.
Sean. Nice to meet you. I'm Toby. That's Casey.
Toby or Dobie?
Toby with a T.
Toby.
Yeah.
Like Toby Tyler.
So, you've been staying warm out here or what?
Not last night.
It has been cold, hasn't it?
I was given this blanket today.
Yeah, oh yeah?
This is all I had.
How do you stay warm, like at night? How do you stay warm at night, like when it gets super cold?
Well, I thought, oh, I could fucking freeze tonight. And then I said, well, we'll just see what happens.
Yeah. You just try and find somewhere warm to...
I was, in front of the Wayside Cafe, Capitol side entrance.
Yeah.
I slept there with a pizza box for a pillow and another one for my aching joints.
Yeah, this weather doesn't help those things.
No.
I got a bad shoulder and this cold weather does not help. So how long have you been out here?
Well, I got back to town after being gone 4 years and 4 months about, and that was September 3rd, 2022. So a little over 2 years.
Oh wow, really? You've been
on the streets.
Yeah, wow. What were you doing for work before you ended up out here? What did you do for a living growing up?
Let's see. Well, artwork.
Yeah.
I clerked most of 6 years for the state. 3 years in the Washington State Department of Licensing, Hearings and Interviews Section, Mail and File Unit. The hearings supervisor oversaw the mail and file unit because the papers in the files and then come in the mail. Needed to be court-worthy documents at any time until they're not applicable. But yeah, my license I'm clear to get my license now. Let's see, your question is work. Trying to go to school at Evergreen, homeless,
Yeah.
and not keeping up with the task. Stay-at-home dad, primary care parent, 11 years of my son's life.
And how many kids you have?
One
kid.
personally.
Okay. It's a boy?
Yeah, boy.
Okay. Sweet.
He just got his master's degree in mathematics
Wow.
at Western Washington University in Bellingham around last July or August, and he's teaching.
And you must be proud, huh?
Yeah, he graduated from South Puget Sound Community College the day his high school graduating class graduated because he was in running start taking college courses at SPSCC starting in 10th grade. So he was 2 years ahead, got his associate's degree. Then when he graduated at high school the same day, and he tutored math. He went right into Evergreen, got his bachelor's. He tutored math, and it was a few years before he went back to school for his master's.
Wow, that's awesome.
So cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you get to see him much?
Oh no,
No.
he's
Yeah.
back east.
Oh, he's back east. Okay. Yeah. Too far away, huh? So,
Yeah.
and so you did that for a while, and then how did you end up out here?
On the street?
Yeah.
Oh, I left one of my wife's homes in Shelton. I'd been living with her 2 years and 2 months. Our compact, our agreement was up. She got me out of California where I didn't want to be after I'd been there 2 years, 3 months, and 25 days, and kind of in domestic servitude.
Yeah. Okay.
Just getting yelled at and doing a lot of the work.
Yeah. Okay.
And paying the rent. My brother helped me out in that regard.
Yeah. Okay.
She got me out of California, got me off alcohol so slowly that my synapses made new pathways to connect, which equates to conscious intelligence.
Okay.
It took 3 days less than a year. And when I had the last sip of beer, I was done. But I was exceeding my quota the whole way through. I told her I go 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I'm haptic,
It's a process.
hands-on. Gotta step back and look around one more time maybe before I step forward again. Anyway, I know myself. I told her 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Oh no! Every month or 2, you cut down 1 beer a day. She cut me down from 2 years of drinking 15 or 20 beers a day to 8 immediately when I got to her house. And then 1 or 2 a month. And she'd always said, "You need more beer already." I thought it wasn't for a little while. Oh no, it's been a month.
Yeah.
That's expedient, strategical, little white lies.
Nobody plans to end up here, on a bench, under a bridge, in the shadows of a city that forgot your name. But every story starts somewhere, and most of the time, it doesn't start with drugs. It starts with pain. He was just like anyone else, a job, a place to call home, people who cared. But then came the layoff, the injury, the bills he couldn't pay, the alcohol. And with every closed door, the world got a little quieter. The pills helped. The alcohol helped at first. They numbed the back pain. They numbed the job loss. Then they numbed the silence, and before he knew it, he wasn't taking them to feel better anymore. He was taking them to feel nothing at all. His friends tried to help, but shame is a powerful thing. It tells you you're broken. It tells you you've gone too far. It tells you the kindest thing you can do is disappear. So he stopped answering calls, stopped asking for help. He didn't want to be a burden, didn't want to bring anyone down with him, didn't want to see the disappointment in their eyes one more time. Addiction doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't care how strong you are. And when the world gives up on you, sometimes the only thing left to hold on to is the very thing that's destroying you. But he's still here, still breathing, still hoping maybe someone will see him, not as a failure, not as a burden, but as a human being with a story worth hearing.
Hi, my name is Toby. I'm with a podcast called Unseen Americans. We're a local podcast around here at Olympia. We just walk around, kind of get to know people downtown Olympia and all that. What's your name?
Rose.
Rose?
Yeah.
Hey, good to meet you. Good to meet you. How you doing out here? How's the weather's getting a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long you been hanging out down here?
I've been out here over 7 years.
7 years. Wow. Did you grow up in Olympia?
No, I'm from Gary, Indiana.
Oh, okay. And so 7 years ago you came here, or did you go straight from Indiana, or were you somewhere else?
I'm in Seattle for a little bit, but it's too scary up there.
And you feel like Olympia has kind of a different vibe than Seattle?
It's safer.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard there's a lot of resources in Olympia also to help, which also is very nice, right? So, and how long did you live in Indiana?
Since I was like 6.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what brought you over here? Why'd you come to Washington?
My family died.
No, sorry.
Like, everyone.
Yeah.
In like 13 months, and that's why I came here.
Yeah. And have you met people here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Good. And where you been staying at?
I sleep outside.
You do. Have you tried to go to the gospel mission and stuff like that?
Yeah, they have bugs and
They do.
crazy people that talk all night.
Yeah. I've heard that. I heard it's rather difficult over there at times. I know the Salvation Army has like a bed, but like I've heard the kind of the same deal over there. It's just not a whole lot of room. And so what are you trying to get out of here? Are you trying to, like, what are you trying to do to better yourself out here? Are you just kind of stuck in a rut, or do you feel like you have somewhere you're headed?
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's just one day at a time at this point, huh? Yeah. Do you have any problems with people out here? Is everybody pretty cool?
Yeah, people are nice and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, at least the weather's getting a little bit better. I hate seeing everybody out here in the cold.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets down to 30 degrees, you know, it's freezing out here, so that's good. I like your bike.
Thank you.
Yeah, at least you got some transportation out here.
Personalized.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I saw you talking to do you know that fella? Okay. You just didn't like his approach, huh?
No, I fly sign out here every day, and you know they steal from me,
Oh, okay.
and I don't go to stores and steal anything, you know. And
Yeah.
so when they take what I have, it's hard for me to get back.
For sure. For sure. I've interviewed a couple other people that are having the same problems, stuff getting stolen from them. So it sounds like that's kind of a regular thing out here, huh? And I like what you said to him when you said, you know, no one's going to give you anything out here with that attitude.
Yeah.
You are correct. You are 100% correct. It's going to take some more, a little more tact than that, you know? So, well, Rose, we appreciate you talking to us. It's nice getting to know you. I'm sure we'll see you out here. We like to walk around and kind of, you know, do updates with people too. So if we see you again, we'll say hello. But is there anything that you would like to say to the camera? Any kind of wise words you want to say? You have anything that you want to speak your piece on? No? Said all you need to say, huh? All right. Well, thank you, Rose.
When people see someone on the street, they think they know their story. Lazy, addict, just a lost cause. But what if it's not that simple? What if her name is Rose? She lived in Indiana, grew up with her family, and then lost everything. She had Sunday pancakes, soccer games, dance recitals like anybody else. She wasn't just surviving, she was living. Then in a single year, she lost her entire family. The house, the job, the life she knew, it all disappeared. Grief broke her, not drugs, not laziness, just loss. So much of it, she couldn't carry it at all, and the world never offered to help her hold it. But Rose is still here. She's still human, and she's still worthy. Still fighting for tomorrow, even when yesterday haunts her. Homeless doesn't mean hopeless. It just means there's more to the story. So ask, listen, see the person, not the pavement. You see them, or maybe you don't. On the corner of 5th and Main, under the overpass, huddled by the storefront after dark. Some sit quietly, some hold signs, some don't ask for anything at all. They're our neighbors, our veterans, our mothers, our brothers. They're human beings. But somewhere along the way, the world stopped seeing them. People pass by without a glance, eyes forward, music up, hearts closed. And in doing so, we let a whole population fall through the cracks, not just economically, but emotionally, spiritually, and socially. In LA County, over 75,000 people live without permanent shelter. In New York, more than 80,000 sleep in the shelter system every night. While luxury high-rises stand half empty, families sleep in tents just blocks away. There are more vacant homes in the U.S. than there are homeless people. Yes, you heard that right. More than 16 million homes sit empty, enough to house every homeless person 24 times over. Behind every number is a name. Every statistic is a story, a missed paycheck, a medical diagnosis, a divorce. That's all it takes. But there is hope. Across the country, people are stepping up, building tiny home villages, offering mental health support, fighting for rent control, and demanding systematic change. Homelessness isn't a mystery. It's a policy choice.
I don't even care about that. I can get more stuff. But I'm worried about the people in there.
Are you having a better experience where you're at now?
Hell, I just got back there, so I can't say.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to.
Yeah.
I got a storage unit at this place, so I can store stuff
Yeah.
if I collect stuff. Because staying at the mission is not easy. You have to be able to get.
Where at?
Oh. You have to be able to get up off the mat on the ground, and I'm having a problem with that. So it's hard, but so far the homeless people are helping me.
Good.
And it actually made me cry because this little girl came up to me at the mission and said, "You can have my allowance." And I said, No kid.
Aw.
Can't take your allowance.
Wow.
But just the thought that she was walking in there and she had her $3 for the week,
Sure.
I gave her more than that.
Yeah.
And I don't even got a place to stay. Her mom looked at me, she goes, "Oh, we got a place to go, we're just eating here." And I'm like, yeah, I've heard that before, until you don't. So, it's really on my heart to get this place investigated. And the more publicity will help us. I mean, I don't know how much I can prove now that I'm gone, because they're going to try and make it so you can't. But
You know a lot of people around here?
I know a lot of homeless. I've been homeless off and on for 6 years.
6 years?
But I had a good 2 years at Rillon until the last straw. I had a few arguments with them over people that got hurt, and I stuck up for people, and they obviously don't like that. So they had the cops escort me out in an ambulance. They took me to St. Pete's. St. Pete's was too full, apologized for not being able to hold me, and handed me some food and sent me out the door, which was fine. But you know.
And what were you doing before you were homeless?
I'm a retired, I used to do Department of Corrections.
Okay. DLC.
I got hurt worse working there, and so I get a pension from them. But sometimes even that pension don't cover rent and stuff like that. And so I've really been struggling the last couple of years. And
In a city that barely looks down long enough to see who's sleeping at its feet, some people are more invisible than others, but not Lonnie. No home, no bed, not much more than the clothes on his back and the shoes he duct taped together last week. But ask anyone out here, he's the one they all look for when it gets cold, when someone's sick, when someone disappears. Ain't nobody else gonna do it if we don't do it for each other. He gives away his last sandwich, shares his blanket, stays up through the night so a woman he just met can sleep without fear. See, it's not about what you got, it's about what you give. You'd be surprised how rich you feel when you make somebody smile who ain't smiled in days. Lonnie's never asked for much, not even for himself, but his presence is everything to the few who can still call this stretch of sidewalk home. I don't need nobody to feel sorry for me. Just see us. Just see us. That's all. We're out here. We're not ghosts. Lonnie may not have a roof over his head, but he's built a shelter out of compassion. A home, not a walls, but his heart. There are over 500,000 people experiencing homelessness in America. Lonnie is one of them, but he's not alone. In 2025, over 770,000 Americans experience homelessness on any given night, a staggering 18% increase from the previous year. The primary driver, a severe shortage of affordable housing. In cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles, housing costs have skyrocketed, pushing even the employed into the streets. Studies reveal that the high housing costs, more than addiction or mental illness, are the leading cause of homelessness. Family homelessness has surged by 39% in the past year. Nearly 150,000 children are without stable shelter, highlighting the crisis that affects the most vulnerable. Addiction often intertwines with homelessness. Approximately 1/3 of homeless individuals grapple with substance abuse. Yet recovery is possible. Many find hope through community programs and support networks, rebuilding their lives step by step.
I started volunteering at the food bank in 2013, and I went off, did things in my life, and decided that they weren't fulfilling, and it just wasn't my calling. So I decided to come back here, give it a go, and they hired me and been here for ever since.
Did you grow up around here?
I kind of. So I grew up in Washington. I was born on Fort Lewis, at the old Madigan, which, if anybody knows about that, it is old and creepy and gross. But then I kind of jumped around. My father was an addict, so we kind of moved around a lot because of that. And lived in Lacey, Olympia, all the way down to Oregon once, Tacoma area. So Washington native for sure. Been here.
Has this always been something you've been interested in getting into?
Definitely. I've always had, a very empathetic heart, and people mean a lot to me, and I just see what's going on around me, and I wanted to be part of a solution rather than continuing to contribute to the problem.
So, since we've been on this little journey ourselves, we've definitely saw another side to all this, and it's been very educational for us as well, because it's pretty. These people are pretty amazing, and the more you talk to them, I remember we came in, we brought up a couple names to you guys, and you guys knew immediately who Sean and George were, and we thought it was crazy how small of a world this probably is, because you
really
probably
is.
see them all the time.
Oh yeah.
right? And so, like, I'm sure, have you gotten to know
Oh, very much so.
all these people pretty
Oh
well?
yeah, so the outfits that I wear are very recognizable, so I think it makes me a lot more approachable too, so people, they see me and they're like, oh yeah, so they come up and get to know us, and we develop relationships with the people out here. We have the mission right here, so we always are trying to make sure that we're engaging with the community around us, to make them feel heard and seen and welcome, because a lot of the times people in these vulnerable states get passed over, and that's the last thing we want, especially when they're visiting our food pantry.
So I'm kind of, I guess, naive when it comes to the whole like food bank thing. So how exactly does this operate? Do they just kind of show up when they feel like it, and like how does that work?
So we try and make it a very barrier-free zone. We don't ask you too many questions. We don't require income. We don't require proof of address like a lot of food pantries still do. We just want to make sure that anyone who comes up to our door is welcome in and knows that food is not a right, or not a privilege. You know, you have a right to get food. And we don't care what your background is, what you've done, where you're at now. We're meeting you right here. And we make it so it's very dignified too. So instead of just handing you a box of food like they used to do when I was younger, they were like, here's some rice and beans, go feed your family. That doesn't work. You know, not everybody has the ability to cook that type of stuff or knows how. So we set it up like a grocery store, and you get a little shopping cart, and you'll get to go literally just walk around like you would at a grocery store. There's a produce display of your deli, dairy, meat, canned goods, all that stuff, and you get to pick the things that you want, that you're going to eat. And that also helps eliminate waste too, because back in the day when we handed that, some people aren't going to use that, so then it just either goes in the trash or it expires or whatever. So we try and take away that element of it too, so you have that freedom of choice.
So as a personal for me, I was adopted when I was 14 from Colombia, me and my brothers, and I was provided really good support growing up in different situations. And my mom, when I came here, is an American woman. She adopted the three of us, and I was raised to always give back for the people who provide for you. And it's always been my thing about giving back to the community. I started social services in college, and then I started, and it's always about helping others. It's never been about me. It's about what the people need in the community and how can I help them. I've been in situations where I had nothing, and a lot of people helped me and supported me. I didn't speak a word of English for a long time, and people helped me. I needed to go to my mom believed that I needed a college education, so she helped me fundraise for me to go to a special event for me to get a scholarship. And there's a lot of people help me. So it's about giving back, and I know there's a huge need in the community, and it fills my heart, making sure someone leaves this food bank with food, but also with a smile in their faces. So that's very important to me.
Do you feel like a lot of the people that have come to volunteer to work here had been through things in their past? Because talking to Alicia, she was saying that she's been through her own struggles and has ended up here, and she loves doing what she does. Do you feel like a lot of people have that background that have ended up volunteering?
I think anybody who comes to the food bank has a story to tell. It could be a positive or negative story, but they always lead you here. I came here because my brother said, hey, we need Thanksgiving, and then I quit working my other job because I believe I was going to stay home mom, and I found out that's not my thing. And then I became a foster mom and through the foster system, and to provide for children. But I learned that's not my thing, and so I came here, and I ended up learning and loving about all these volunteers, and they all have a beautiful story to tell. Some have been a privileged life, and they feel like they need to give up because they don't have privilege. Some of them have struggles in many different ways through childhood or adult life, and they also feel they need to provide and give back because they have received as well.
So it's all different walks of life.
It's all different walks of life, and my favorite is watching little kids as a legacy, watching when the grandparents bring their grandchildren to come and show them what volunteerism is and what is giving back to the community, not to receive something in return, and see the value of that. It's a huge gratitude for watching those beautiful kids learning that. I see high schoolers coming through here who never experienced hunger or any difficulties in life, and they're appreciating the love, seeing what we do, and they tend to later on come back and be part of that community to give more back. So yes.
So how many people work here? I mean, what's the...
As organization, we have two main food pantries. The two main food pantries is open total 5 days a week. And in average, downtown we open 3 times a week. And in average, we see about 230 to 50 a day at our main food pantry. Our lazy food pantry, in average, they see about 200 a day, twice a week. But we also have partnerships. We have small churches or community centers that provide services that unfortunately we cannot provide, that extended hours like evening and weekends. And the average they see about 50 to 100, depends on the location. So we have about 18 other locations that we provide services. We also do home deliveries to our seniors based on eligibility. We do have some special programs that require that, but we provide our services as to eliminate barriers, any barriers. So anybody from any organization can come, any location, they can come from King County, Pierce County, Mason County, if they need food or they need any support, advocacy, this is the right place for them to come at.
And as far as Olympia goes, is there any other places that do what you guys do? I know there's like, you say a soup kitchen case?
There's a bunch of other organizations like Salvation Army provides as a food kitchen. They also provide shelters. We have the Gospel Mission. There's a shelter and also provides foods and things like that. There's a plenty of places and a lot of people in the community, not just us, that provide for the community. So
yeah, I was just telling Alicia that we interviewed a guy this morning who was saying Olympia is one of a kind when it comes to helping people. He said he's never been anywhere that gets so much help like Olympia. He loves it here, and he said they really help a lot here.
It is, because the thing is the will of eliminating barriers and showing respect and kindness to the human person and seeing the human value of that person is such. In our community, I think we have been through so much, and we've seen so much changes across the nation that the impact of how to support each other has grown for the past years here.
In the quiet corner of the city where hunger meets hope, 2 remarkable women stand as pillars of compassion. Meet Alicia and Bernice. More than volunteers, they're lifelines. Every morning before the sun fully rises, they arrive at the food bank with sleeves rolled up and hearts wide open. To some, it's just food, but to them, it's dignity, care, and a second chance. With every box packed and every hand held, they're not just feeding the body, they're feeding the soul. From warm smiles to warm meals, they offer more than nourishment. They offer hope. For the homeless that walk through those doors, these 2 ladies are a reminder that kindness still lives here. They don't do it for the credit. They do it because they care. 2 women, 1 mission, infinite impact. Because sometimes heroes wear aprons or cow outfits, not capes. We called our show Unseen Americans for a reason, because that's what they are, Americans, but too often invisible in their own country, and we're here to change that. We believe that by telling their stories, we can start to rewrite the narrative, not one of shame or pity, but of resilience, truth, and humanity. We're not here to solve homelessness in a soundbite. We're here to listen, to learn and to look, really look at the people we've trained ourselves to overlook. Because the first step to helping someone is seeing them.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Feel me? Like, it get hard out there, and it gets sad, it gets lonely, and your guilt and your shame will catch up with you, and it make you want to destroy yourself. But man,
Yeah.
you can't, because at the end of the day, no matter how bad you look back at your mistakes and go, fuck, tomorrow you got to wake up and face your children. And you know, I would like to face my children with a smile, my shoulders square, you know, and my head held high.
Yeah.
Feel me? Not the other way around, but life's a trip, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
Homie, you know you hit home with me. You know, where do you see yourself in a couple years, you know?
Yeah, I don't even know. Right now I'm exploring that, you know, I go on these tangents. I deal with untreated mental health, and I always have, and that goes along. Your mental health access has changed. You can't really get to the gist of it, you know what I mean, unless you're sober and you have a lot of clean time, so you can start dealing with mental health. And that's where I'm at right now. You know, the usual post-traumatic stress disorder from all the crazy shit we've done, all the crazy shit we've seen. I mean, can't even count. I don't have enough fingers to count on all the people I've watched die. You know what I mean? And so that's post-traumatic stress right there. And then you deal with trauma, depression, learning disabilities, dyslexia, you know, neurodivergent adults, especially neurodivergent adults when you've never sought or had treatment, you know what I mean? Or never addressed those issues. And if they go unchecked, you get what I see out here every day when I'm walking out here day and night. You have this homelessness, this addiction epidemic, and a lot of it's mental health. I run into people every day you would think are on drugs or addicts, and it's just mental health. There's no alcohol involved in it, no drugs in it. It is just lost. It's like there's a lot of lost people out here, you know what I mean? And what did they want to be when they were young? You know what I mean? I'm sure they got an answer too. Sure. I think, where do I see myself in the next few years? Trying, not giving up, you know what I mean? Doing stuff like this, networking with people, not giving up, bro. Because, I mean, when your socks are dirty, your shoes are wet, and you're cold, and you're dope sick, sometimes giving up sounds like a good idea, bro. But it's not, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, since I've been back to Washington, I've been back, 3 weeks since I came back from Vegas, and I've already, 3 people I know already died from addiction, overdose. You know, and I was gone in Vegas just for a few short months, and like 7 people I know died. And it just, every single day it's happening. But I definitely would rather be a part of the solution than the problem. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been a long time since I've had to talk to a cop. It's been a long time since I've been in a courthouse. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't steal to eat. I know some people say, oh, I'll steal to get food. Well, I don't even do that, you know what I mean? And I just don't break laws, bro. I don't do things out of pocket, shiesty, you know? And some people say that's, you know what I mean? That's a change from the old days, but man, I got a lot of dreams and hopes. You know, music, my jewelry. I love doing jewelry. I love making jewelry. I love meeting people. I spend a lot of time praying, meditating, reading books, staying on the up and up on, you know, world politics and all that kind of crazy stuff. But for the most part, I'm just trying to find a place to belong, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, you think you live in a domestic, you have a family, you have children, you have a home, and then you lose it, right? And then you come back full circle, and then you have a family, you have a home again, and then you lose it. I mean, should I try one more time? You know what I mean? I could either give up and just say, fuck it, or try harder, you know what I mean? But for me, trying harder is to address the mental health, and that's just as much for depression as it is for the other learning disabilities that I've had since youth. So I think it comes down to self-care, wouldn't it? Right? Loving yourself enough to care about yourself, I think. But that kind of stuff. But I know that might not be the crazy stories, but you know,
no, that's life. That's what we want to hear.
Me?
Yeah. That's life.
I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad I have a chance to be here with y'all. That's
Yeah.
cool.
This is Wiley. For years, life knocked him down, harder each time he tried to stand. The streets became his reality. Addiction became his prison. And the distance between him and his 4 daughters felt like a canyon too wide to cross. But Wiley isn't giving up. Today, he's fighting for something bigger than himself. A second chance, a clean start, a father's redemption. Every step he takes is a promise to stay sober, to stay strong, to become the man his daughters deserve. This is not the end of Wiley's story. It's the beginning of his comeback. Because sometimes the hardest battles create the strongest souls. We're rooting for you, Wiley. Tonight across America, over 580,000 people will go without a home. Veterans, families, survivors, dreamers. Their faces blend into the background of busy cities and forgotten towns. But being unseen doesn't mean that they are invisible to us. Every day we lose potential when a child does her homework under a streetlight, when a veteran battles trauma alone in the cold, or when a mother wonders if she'll find a bed for her baby tomorrow night. And yet, solutions are within reach. Studies show that supportive housing programs can reduce chronic homelessness by 90%. Cities that invest in housing first initiatives save an average of $23,000 a year in emergency services every year. Compassion isn't just morale, it's practical. The goal is clear. By 2030, we aim to cut homelessness in half across the cities we spotlight, to build 100,000 units of affordable housing, to fund 50,000 addiction and mental health recovery programs, and to connect 25,000 families with the resources they need to rebuild their lives. Because when we invest in people, we invest in the future of our country. We envision a future where no child sleeps on a park bench, where no veteran feels abandoned after serving their own country, where no family must choose between paying rent and putting food on the table. It will take more than compassion. It will take action, policy, investment, and the will to see. Really see, those who have been invisible for far too long. The road ahead won't be easy, but with every hand extended, every law reformed, every life restored, we move closer to a nation where everyone, no matter the past or their hardships, has a place to call home. Because the unseen Americans are America, and their future, our future, is worth fighting for. Thanks for watching.